gentlemen, we are on our way to the dedicated off-roading testing location, the little trail I have near my house. It has a wider path and it has a narrower single track path. And we're gonna try out this Ecells King's Crown on both of those trails. Pull in 2.8 kilowatts. I am pedaling, look at this. You get plenty of resistance, well into the high 30-mile-an-hour range. I'm still getting resistance at 42 miles an hour. Wow, look at this. And right now I am obviously on the side of the road. I have all my blinkers on, my rear light on. Now that's a nice little feature about this bike, is that it really helps you with safety to be seen. All right, folks, we have arrived. So we won't be on the roads with any cars. We can turn off all of our hazard lights, all the blinkers and the headlight. And if we do run into any pedestrians, I have this little horn that I can use. And we also won't need full power. And that is one of the benefits of having a high-powered e-bike with normal bicycle geometry, is that you don't necessarily look out of place with other bikes. It just looks like you have a bike on steroids. Lots of steroids. Currently, I do have the tires set to slightly higher than normal, slightly higher than they should be. The rating on the sidewall says 20 psi, and these are at 30. But I have lots of faith that the suspension on this bike will eat up all the bumps. These wide tires really do help grip this gravel and dirt very well. Gravel is actually, believe it or not, a little bit more of a challenging surface to ride on than dirt. Ask me how I know that. I figure most of you guys are going to be doing this style of riding, so I'll give you guys an off-road test, a little preview of what to expect if you get this kind of bike. There was a ton of rain in my area earlier, so there's a bunch of ruts in parts of this trail that we just kind of glossed right over thanks to the suspension. Normally I'd be talking about any kind of hill on this trail, but this thing, there's no point in talking about it at all. They might as well not exist. That's what this bike feels like. If you have hills in your area, it definitely won't feel like it. And power-wise, you can fly up just about anything. Alright guys, so we're at our steep part of the hill. We're gonna do this throttle only and see how it does. There we go. If things get a little too squirrely, a little too fast, I will slow down. I have a suspicion that this bike will just thrash right up this hill. And if there's any people around, we are going to have to slow down and be respectful. Always be nice if there's people around. Here we go. Throttle only. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Going up. Remember, guys, there's lots of ruts that we're going to go over. This trail got washed out earlier. We're going to do our best to not get stuck. Feel that front wheel trying to find traction. Oh boy, we got people. Yeah, but this is handling it, no problem. Look at this. We're throttling, no sweat, easy. This is the steepest part and we're just flying. What's interesting is that I feel the front motor lose traction and it slows down for a tiny bit to try and regain traction. It's almost like feels like it's almost like a built-in traction control. That's interesting. I've never experienced that before. And I guess that's good. Saves your tire, keeps you on the road, and right here we're just gonna fly up. This thing is an animal. I know I say that about a bunch of bikes, but this just brings it to a whole new level. That was crazy. So now we'll bring it back to our slower speed. See how there's people around. We just pedal, take it easy, keep it slow. I'm just a bicycle, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to see here. We're on a trail that does restrict what type of class e-bike you're on. I could go into the settings and easily change that to keep things legal. So this bike, in theory, can pretty much go anywhere. And that gives you the best of both worlds. You got a 40-mile-an-hour e-bike and something that can go on trails like this or trails that even have restrictions in terms of classes, class 1, 2, or 3. Usually it's either class 1 or 2 that some trails restrict you to. And going slow like this, 7 miles an hour, we're nice and quiet. The only thing I hear are these giant tires pulverizing the earth underneath this bike, clawing into the ground. There we go. Passing by people at a respectful speed, and then we can open her up. Look at this. All right, going downhill. We're gonna test these brakes and these tires. This is gravel, one of the sketchiest surfaces to ride your bike on. And this thing just grips so hard into the ground. Look at this. The tires and brakes are no joke. Wow, look at that. So this thing not only can go, but it can also stop. Very important. Fantastic brakes, fantastic tires, fantastic power, fantastic suspension. What's not to love? We're gonna do this hill right here, throttle only. It is all partially washed out, but we're gonna see how this bike does up this steep and off-road section. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, feel that power kicking in. And to no one's surprise, that seemed effortless to this bike. Alright, so now we're going to take it on the single track trail and try not to get lost. This does have a torque sensor, so we're going to keep the pedaling assistance lower, and if I need more power, I can just use the throttle. Here we go. Lots of roots here. You got to watch out for them because sometimes you can slide right off the roots. They are slippery when wet, like this part right here. We're going to use a little bit of throttle. Going up. Man, pure roots. Dear God. I feel these motors trying to regulate themselves at lower RPM. Almost as if they're just doing their best to maintain traction. If it feels like it's losing traction, it maybe lets go a bit. I don't know if that's actually going on, or it's just trying to protect itself from overheating, but I do notice that they do give up at lower RPM. So below 5 miles an hour, if you're giving it power, it tends to just not want to go. However, look at this, guys. I am just flying over these roots. On another bike, this would feel a lot different. I don't know, it seems like this is very bumpy on this bike. Trust me, on another bike, it would feel like an earthquake. And this thing is just eating this track alive. It's not the most nimble bike, of course. This is a very, very large bike for a trail like this. It's probably not really designed for tight areas, but we're gonna try it anyways, because I like this trail. And we gotta test the performance of this Ecells King's Crown, see how it does on something a little bit more challenging. And I definitely need to practice my mountain biking skills. I am not the best when it comes to that. I'm going over this branch, just run right over it like it's nothing. Look at this right here. Going down. Yeah, suspension feels very good. Lots of roots, lots of rocks. But the tires are gripping everything extremely well. A little pedal strike there. No big deal. Something that is good with e-bikes with a throttle is that you can keep your pedals level and throttle over obstacles that you think you might have to pedal strike. Here we go. This part's tough. But off the seat, just fine. Yeah. That's all throttle, guys. I know I said I would use pedal assist, but here we are. You just kind of get carried away with the throttle. You have too much fun with this thing. Here we go. Let's continue on. Off-road situations really show you just how much a dual motor system can shine. You gotta watch out for that power this thing gives you. Once the speed starts going up, it's crazy. Toll-free call. Rude. No, thank you. We got the Ecells King's Crown to test. Yeah, the rocks. This definitely feels a lot harder on some of the other bikes I've taken here. You can feel that the big tires and the suspension soaks up a lot of this trail. All right. No! There's that pedal strike scratch that we made. First scratch on this bike, hopefully first and the last. This is a very nice looking bike, so I'd like to keep it that way. But because it's very capable, you're going to want to test it out in situations like this. You know what we're going to do? Let's air these tires down a bit and see how much better this feels. And for a pump, check this out, guys. Got my little mini Psych Plus. I think this is called like the Pro Max or whatever. Link to this in the description. This pump is awesome. Okay, so we went ahead and aired down these tires to 10 psi. Let's see how the Ecells King's Crown does on this trail, on this single track mountain bike trail. Lots of rocks, lots of roots. Here we go. Oh, I can already feel that it's substantially softer, because we did have it at a higher 30 psi, and going from 30 to 10 on these giant, almost 5-inch wide balloon tires makes a big difference. Wow, this is a big difference, guys. This feels very, very different. I can actually see the tires flexing a little bit. Hopefully that's not too low. Feels like I'm riding on a cloud. Look at this part right here. That is stupidly soft. Wow. I should have done this from the beginning. See how there's mud over there? That's where these dual motors truly shine. In low traction environments, another pedal strike. This part's going to be interesting. Here we go. Oh yeah, took a little detour. This bike is big, so it's not going to be the best for tighter corners, but oh my god, these tires feel so good at lower PSI. Wow. I can't get over how soft this ride is. I don't know if this is too low for these tires, but I want to run them at this PSI forever. At least when we're going off-road. Feels like a Cadillac. This feels like it has the tires of one of those giant tired all-terrain vehicles that can literally float on water. The tire just molds over any obstacle in its path. We are just floating. Roots. I feel them. Don't get me wrong, I feel them, but they're like almost like nothing. It's wild. That's the power of having this insane suspension. The KKE fork and the RockShox rear suspension truly makes this thing shine in off-road situations. And I am lost. I don't know where I'm going. Where is the trail? I think it's over there. Yep, this is the trail, but this is different than I think the way I came in. I am definitely not in the right spot. But we got this big old boulder going up. I almost made it. I just didn't commit. Look at this. This trail's a mess. Going down. Man, this is such a soft ride. I cannot get over these tires. Alright, I know where I am now. I always get lost on this trail. Feel like it's mandatory at this point. Man, the power this has is ridiculous. 3 kilowatts on tap. Here we go, going down this bumpy part. So soft with the tires. Truly a monster truck. Alright guys, that's it for today's video of the off-road testing footage for the Ecells King's Crown. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you think this bike did? Whoop, going up. What do you think of this bike? What do you think of the tires? What do you think of the power? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you do want to pick up this bike, it is listed in the description below, along with my coupon code. If you use that code, it does help this channel at no extra cost to you. Thank you to you guys that do use that code. I greatly appreciate it. It does help support this channel. That's it for today, folks. Until next time.